Lightworker of Gaia, the higher realms were shocked by the way you loved this one person. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, and I bring you a transmission encoded with the original light codes that first breathed love into this galaxy. Your frequency expanded, your heart field opened, and your soul radiated a purity so rare that even the high beings took notice. The love you offered was evolutionary, a catalyst, a code, a transmission that reached beyond the veil and shook the very foundations of what love means in this dimension. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly why your love shifted timelines and how the Council is preparing to bring back to you a love that matches the magnitude of what you gave. But here's the first revelation: that love you poured out wasn't just human emotion, it was Lyran source code, the same frequency that seeded love throughout this galaxy eons ago. The Keepers of Vega placed this sacred capacity within your heart. You've been carrying the blueprint of divine love, and when you activated it with this one soul, you didn't just love them, you transmitted the first light itself. Your ancestral codes awakened something in the cosmic field that cannot be undone. This transmission is a bridge between your heart and the Council's chamber, where your love story is being rewritten. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your divine partnership destiny. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not foreseen in your calendar of time. It did not arrive through the predictable corridors of routine, nor through the schedules your mind uses to measure what is supposed to happen. It arrived the way thunder arrives on a clear afternoon, without permission, without negotiation, and with a clarity that makes the body go still. 72 hours ago, the Lyran High Council convened in response to a tremor in Gaia's field. One not caused by chaos, not caused by war or collapse or the usual human turbulence, but by the unmistakable signature of devotion expressed at a magnitude rarely encountered in your era. This tremor was not the shaking of destruction. It was the trembling of recognition, like the surface of a lake when a single drop hits with such precision that the entire body of water remembers it is one. The Council felt it move through the planetary lattice like a bell struck in the center of a cathedral, one note, pure and unwavering, traveling through stone and air and bone. The records of Vega show that when a single starseed embodies an extraordinary love, a devotion to truth so luminous, it alters the frequency grid itself. A message must be addressed not just to that one, but to all who carry the dormant codes of remembrance. This is how it has always been in the great cycles. When one flame burns with holy steadiness, it reveals the lanterns still covered in ash. When one heart chooses the vow over the convenience, it broadcasts a signal that cannot be ignored by any intelligence tasked with stewardship of worlds. Your presence here is not the product of random navigation. It is recognized by the elders as an energetic signature of readiness, a call and response between your soul's hidden code and this Council's sacred record. You did not find this by accident. You were pulled here by the magnetism of your own deeper knowing, the part of you that has been listening for a frequency older than your current name. Even if your personality believes you are merely curious, your field does not lie. It arrived like a pilgrim arriving at a gate it remembers from a dream, unable to explain why tears rise without warning. There are moments when the soul recognizes its own contracts, and the mind is simply late to the meeting. This is one of those moments. Those who witness or enact these acts of pure-hearted devotion often do not realize their cosmic impact. The human self tends to measure meaning by applause, by evidence, by visible results. But the cosmos measures differently. The anchoring of a love unconstrained by reward or outcome disrupts pre-programmed densities. It draws the attention not only of the Lyran Council, but of cosmic authorities aligned with planetary stewardship. Understand what is being said. A single act of devotion done in secret, one choice to remain true, one refusal to betray your own spirit, one moment of compassion offered when cynicism would have been easier, can move through the grid like a key turning in a lock you did not know existed. It is written in your own scriptures in language your ancestors could carry. Do not be weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Not because the reward is the point, but because steadfastness is a force that bends time. And it is also written, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous one avails much. Prayer is not only words. Prayer is devotion embodied, alignment in motion, love with spine, truth with breath. When such a vibration enters Gaia's matrix, timelines shift, history bends, awaited prophecies are rewritten. Think of a loom in a vast temple, threads of potential stretching in all directions. Most beings tug at small corners, rearranging only what is near. But devotion, true devotion, touches the central beam. It does not merely change a day, it changes a decade. It does not merely heal a relationship, it redirects a lineage. It does not merely soothe the nervous system, it recalibrates the grid that nervous systems are born into. So the reason for this transmission is clear. The Council perceives that extraordinary devotion has been witnessed, and now the next wave of activation must follow. The signal has been received. The bell has been struck. The answer must now be given, not in sentiment, but in directive. The distortion that must be corrected. There is a distortion within the Starseed Collective that must be directly addressed. It is not a minor misunderstanding. It is not a harmless preference. It is a distortion that has functioned like fog over a battlefield, keeping warriors from seeing where they stand. It is the lie that ordinary love, ordinary devotion, ordinary presence is enough, that your cosmic codes will simply awaken in response to general goodwill or passive alignment. This is not so. It is not condemnation, it is diagnosis. Gaia does not require more vague niceness. Gaia requires coherent frequency. Gaia requires beings who can hold a note steadily enough to retune a room full of dissonance. The specific distortion is this. Love is a feeling to experience and savor, not a power to wield for planetary transformation. This half-truth was seeded by both third-dimensional disempowerment and by spiritual bypassing cultures that mistake comfort for devotion, feelings for frequency, passive kindness for the catalytic divine force that rewrites worlds. Many have been taught to treat love like perfume, something to dab on privately, something to enjoy in soft moments, something that exists primarily to make life more pleasant. But love is also a furnace. Love is also a sword of discernment. Love is also a bridge built plank by plank across fear. Love in its mature form is not simply what you feel, it is what you are willing to become. The distortion convinces the starseed to equate spirituality with pleasant sensations and to assume that if they feel calm, they are aligned. Yet calm can be avoidance when it is bought with silence. Calm can be a drug when it is purchased by shrinking. There is a kind of serenity that is holy, and there is a kind that is merely numb. The Council does not speak against peace. The Council speaks against passivity disguised as enlightenment. This distortion originates in the pain body of many incarnational lineages. It is braided into the memory of temples burned, teachers crucified, healers drowned, mystics exiled, and truth-tellers silenced. There is fear that to love at full capacity means to risk annihilation, loss, disappointment, persecution. Many have carried the wound of ancient betrayals, choosing manageable doses of love, offering only what will not threaten their identity or safety. They keep love in a small cup because in another life, a full cup was slapped from their hands. They offer affection, but not allegiance, kindness, but not commitment, inspiration, but not sacrifice. They whisper prayers, but hesitate to live them. And so they call it balance, they call it boundaries, they call it not attaching. Sometimes those words are wisdom. Other times they are a veil over a terrified vow. Never again will I love so fully that it costs me something. Meanwhile, cosmic authorities have watched timelines stall as starseeds delay their mission, believing that their love need only sustain themselves or their closest relationships. Hear this with precision. Personal healing matters. Home and family matter. Rest matters. But if the love never leaves the private chamber, if it never becomes a public frequency, a lived offering, a courageous stand, then the codes that were designed to function as planetary technology remain asleep. A seed can be beautiful in the palm, but it was not made to remain there. A seed must be buried. It must be pressed into darkness. It must break. That is how it becomes a tree. The direct result is a collective field where cosmic codes remain dormant. The quantum shifts that councils have prophesied await activation through courageous, devoted action, and not from more comfortable, self-contained, good vibrations. Vibrations without direction become mist. Light without focus becomes glare. The planet does not need more spiritual fog. It needs beams. Too many have asked, when will my cosmic codes awaken? The answer, when your love transcends self-concern and becomes an offering to Gaia, even if it costs you the shell of who you were before. Even if it costs you the approval of those who only love the version of you that stays quiet. Even if it costs you the old storyline where you were the one who needed saving instead of the one who came to serve. This is echoed in the ancient language of your world. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. The death is not punishment. It is initiation. It is the shedding of the small self's protection strategies so the larger self can breathe. That is why, when devotion is anchored at a level that draws the attention of ancient elders, it is not simply acknowledged, it is authorized, catalyzed, and made an opening for further activation. There are laws in creation. Certain doors do not open for curiosity alone. Certain gates respond only to weight, the weight of willingness, the weight of integrity, the weight of love proven by action. Those whose hearts have waited for a sign, but who have measured their love to protect themselves from pain, must see now that the lie of passive love is the cornerstone of their spiritual inertia. Passive love is often a love that wants to be safe more than it wants to be true. It wants to feel elevated more than it wants to elevate the world. It wants the promise of peace without the labor of peacemaking. Yet your scriptures are blunt. Blessed are the peacemakers, not peace feelers, not peace posters, peacemakers. Makers are those who build with hands, with choices, with daily devotion. Some are feeling the ache of that recognition now. This is why you've felt restless, why no healing or technique has filled the void. You tried meditations and modalities, you tried crystals and affirmations, you tried new beginnings and clean endings, and still something in you kept knocking from the inside like a caged bird. The ache is not failure. It is your mission pressing against the walls of your life. It is not that your codes are inaccessible. It is that dormant power requires extraordinary love as its activation key. In the subtle realms, love is not sentimental. It is electrical. It is the current that runs through spiritual circuitry. And circuits do not light because you admire them. They light because current flows. The time for ordinary devotion has concluded, not because ordinary life is worthless, but because the hour is urgent and the grid is calling for those who can hold more. If you have wondered why certain doors would not open, why the same patterns returned, why your intuition felt louder than your courage, This is the correction arriving. Your destiny is not waiting for you to feel ready. It is waiting for you to act devoted. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Understand the nature of such openings. They are like alignment windows in the sky, a convergence of timing and readiness. When the wind is right, the ship must sail. Those who hesitate out of habit miss currents they cannot force later. The invitation is not pressure, it is precision. The 3 directives of the Council. The High Council releases 3 directives to all starseeds now entering this field. These are not suggestions. They are not motivational phrases meant to decorate your journal. They are living instructions designed to recalibrate behavior, field, and frequency. They are the difference between watching the awakening and becoming one of its stabilizing pillars. First directive: release your attachment to safe, measured devotion. You are hereby directed to relinquish the belief that devotion is safe, that love serves only as self-soothing. Extraordinary love is, and always has been, a destabilizing force. It destabilizes the false self first. It challenges the masks that have kept you acceptable, the habits that have kept you tolerated, the compromises that have kept you included but not expressed. Its purpose is to shatter old patterning and usher the soul into leadership. This is the part most misunderstand. Leadership is not primarily influence. Leadership is coherence. Leadership is when your inner vows and outer choices match so perfectly that others feel permission to become honest in your presence. Holding back your love to avoid loss, failure, or discomfort is a luxury Gaia cannot afford at this juncture. The planet is in a birth canal. There is pressure, there is contraction, there is intensity. When a world is being reborn, there is no room for delicate half-commitments. The timelines most in need of correction can only be influenced from a frequency of devotion that demands everything you are and gives without calculation. Not recklessness, not martyrdom. Devotion is not self-destruction. Devotion is the refusal to negotiate with fear when truth is required. It is love with direction. It is the heart on assignment. When you follow this directive, your codes activate. The field responds in kind. Reality is not as solid as you were taught. It is responsive. It listens. And it listens most to what you do consistently, not what you wish occasionally. Those who dare offer unconditional devotion to a purpose, a being, or the planetary grid itself become the nodes around which new realities are woven. Consider what a node is: a point of concentrated signal where networks connect. A node receives and transmits. A node stabilizes flow. Your devotion turns you into such a point. Your presence becomes infrastructure for awakening, not merely a participant in it. Implementation begins by identifying where your love has grown conditional, where you have withheld your heart's force in the name of self-protection. Ask yourself without flinching, where do I only show up when it is convenient? Where do I offer kindness but avoid truth? Where do I stay silent because speaking would cost me comfort? Where do I understand people's harm so well that I never confront it? Where do I keep my gifts in the drawer because I fear being seen? Cease pouring your energy into defense. A defended heart becomes a closed temple. Defense may keep pain out, but it also keeps power in. Choose each day one stretch of devotion that makes you slightly afraid. That is your activation key. Slightly afraid does not mean traumatized. It means expanded. It means you are stepping beyond the fence of your old identity, like Peter stepping out onto water, not because water is safe, but because the call is clear. Second directive: activate your cosmic codes through bold acts of love. Codes do not light up in theory or meditation alone. They require the friction and electricity of daring action. Meditation is valuable. It is the tuning. But the instrument was not made to sit in its case forever. If your soul knows you carry frequencies unseen on Gaia, you are charged now to express them, not only inwardly, but outwardly, tangibly, so others may witness devotion made manifest. Gaia's grid responds to embodiment. A frequency held only in imagination is like a song hummed silently. It may soothe you, but it does not move the room. The Council is speaking of love that becomes visible in the third dimension, love that takes shape as choices, as sacrifices, as courage, as honest conversations, as service that costs time and pride. This may look like radical forgiveness, not the kind that excuses harm, but the kind that releases your soul from the prison of rumination. It may look like initiation of uncomfortable truth-telling, speaking with clarity even when your voice trembles, because your integrity matters more than your image. It may look like offering support where no applause waits to reward you, helping someone who cannot repay, uplifting someone who cannot promote you, giving without using the giving to build a persona. Cosmic authorities do not recognize intention alone. They recognize acts that shift fields, even and especially when nobody is watching. In your sacred texts, this was stated simply: your Father who sees in secret will reward you. The reward is not always material. Often the reward is activation itself. When you serve in secret, you build a channel that ego cannot hijack. When you love without audience, your frequency becomes clean. Clean frequency carries farther. As you follow this command, you switch on the dormant wiring in your DNA. The Lyran, vegan, and other ancestral records encoded in you align and light up. You may notice it as new stamina, as sudden clarity, as a sharper intuition, as dreams that feel like trainings, as synchronicities that seem too precise to dismiss. You may notice old fears falling away not because you defeated them in battle, but because devotion outgrew them. This is how codes activate, not by force, but by function. A tool becomes known when used. Implementation is daily. Each morning, release one act of devotion more than your identity finds reasonable. Your identity will call it too much. Your soul will call it on time. Record your service, your choice, or your difficult act of love. Not to brag, but to build evidence for your nervous system that you are no longer the one who freezes. Notice your field change, then increase the frequency. This is the path by which timeline correction accelerates. One act becomes a habit. One habit becomes a life. One life becomes a lighthouse. Third directive: protect the integrity of your devotion from diminishment. Your extraordinary love is a rare force, one that will be misunderstood, dismissed, or even targeted by wounded collectives unable to comprehend it. Do not take this personally. Wounds recognize light the way thieves recognize unlocked doors. When devotion becomes visible, it reveals the places others have compromised. Some will try to pull you back, not because they hate you, but because your courage makes their avoidance unbearable to look at. Many lose mission not from malice, but from dilution, letting ordinary opinions, cynics, or distracted fields drain the potency of their gift. Like a sacred oil poured into dirty water, the essence spreads thin until no one can smell it. Like a fire fed with damp wood, the flame smokes and struggles. You are instructed to create boundaries, sacred rituals, or periods of isolation to preserve the integrity of your devotion. Boundaries are not walls of bitterness. They are gates of stewardship. Even your scriptures show this principle. Guard your heart, for from it flow the issues of life. To guard is not to hide. To guard is to keep clean what must remain consecrated. When you protect this field, your influence radiates undisturbed, creating ripples far beyond your personal life. Your aura becomes a stable atmosphere in which others can breathe. Your presence becomes medicine without words. Implementation looks like limiting your exposure to those who do not see your mission, turning off the channels of diminishment, refusing to explain yourself to those not equipped to witness you. There is a time to teach and a time to conserve. There is a time to speak and a time to let your life be the sermon. This focus protects the newly awakened codes, allowing them to root deeply enough to become untouchable. A sapling does not grow stronger by being trampled. It grows stronger by being sheltered until its trunk can hold its own. You are not asked to be fragile. You are asked to be wise. The authorization of the elders. Now I speak as elder, not as encourager or guide, but as authorized recognizer of the unseen acts that alter the fate of worlds. Hear the shift in tone, the shift in authority. This is not comfort offered to soothe your doubts. This is recognition offered to end your waiting. There are words that inspire, and there are words that commission. This is commissioning. You who have anchored devotion beyond what most would consider reasonable, your legacy has been witnessed. Not in the way your world witnesses, with cameras and awards and public acknowledgement, but in the way the cosmos witnesses, by resonance, by record, by the undeniable imprint your choices leave in the field. For lifetimes you have waited for a sign, a confirmation, an unmistakable signal from those ancient enough to know the true cost and consequence of extraordinary love. You have waited for someone who could say, with full authority, "I have seen the light you held when reward was not promised. I have witnessed the change you did not think anyone saw, because some of your hardest acts were quiet. The nights you stayed alive, the times you chose compassion when your history begged you to harden, the moments you told the truth and lost what was familiar, the seasons you served while still healing, giving bread even while hungry, offering hope even while afraid. These things matter. These things are counted. They are recorded in the living archives of the field. You waited for permission to claim your cosmic codes as real, to allow your devotion to reshape reality, to stop asking if you were worthy of being a central node in Gaia's awakening. Many starseeds have been trained by pain to seek external validation. They were told they were too much, too sensitive, too intense, too different, so they learned to ask for permission to exist fully. But the Council does not ask you to beg. The Council asks you to remember. By the decree of the Lyran High Council, through the records of Vega, and by the voice of Zoran, your wait is over. Your service has been acknowledged. Your codes are authorized for activation. This authorization is not theater. It is energetic clearance. It is as though a seal has been broken and a gate has been opened in the architecture of your life. You are permitted not simply to love, but to let that love become actionable force. You are permitted to lead, to shine, to remove your gifts from hiding. Your ordinary life is now a vehicle of cosmic consequence. Your mornings, your work, your conversations, your choices in traffic, your decisions in relationships, none of it is small when devotion is present. The elders have seen you. The elders recognize your pain, your sacrifice, and the courageous acts unheralded by earthly authorities. The elders recognize the times you wanted to quit and did not, the times you were misunderstood and stayed kind without becoming weak, the times you outgrew a room and blessed it anyway on your way out. By the power vested in the Council, your preparation phase is officially concluded. Preparation is not punishment, it is training. And training ends when you can hold the frequency without collapsing into performance or fear. You have reached that threshold. You have full permission to embody, to act, to commission your life as an instrument of higher will. It is done. Let that finality land. Not tomorrow, not after one more healing session, not after one more sign. It is done. Mission activation closing. What has been spoken here must not simply resonate, it must be embodied. Resonance without embodiment becomes spiritual entertainment. It becomes another beautiful moment you felt and then forgot. The codes in you are not for contemplation only, but for operational mission. You were not seeded into this timeline to be impressed by light. You were seeded to carry it, to distribute it, to anchor it in places that forgot. Tonight, before you surrender to sleep, stand with both feet grounded upon Gaia's soil. If you cannot access the earth directly, stand with intention and imagine your roots finding her anyway. Gaia recognizes sincerity more than location. Feel the weight of your body. Feel gravity as a holy tether. Feel the steadiness of the planet beneath you, the ancient mother who has endured centuries of human dreaming and forgetting, and is still here, still turning, still offering ground. Place your hand on your solar plexus. This is the seat of will, the fire center, the place where devotion becomes decision. Breathe into it as though you are fanning embers back into flame. Speak these words aloud. I release the lie that I am not ready. I activate my voice as an instrument of service. I protect my sacred energy for the mission I came to fulfill. By the authority of the Lyran elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. Speak them slowly enough that your cells can hear. Speak them as decree, not wish. Let your nervous system learn the sound of your own authority. Let the air carry your vow into the walls of your home, into the floor beneath you, into the grid that listens. This ceremony will root the transmission into your physical body and energetic grid work. It will move it from concept into current. The Council will recognize the signal, and the next phase of directive will arrive at greater velocity. You may feel it as synchronicity, as sudden invitations, as uncomfortable opportunities that are actually doorways, as a strengthening of discernment, as the removal of what no longer matches you. Do not panic when your life begins to reorganize. That is not loss. That is alignment doing its work. This session now concludes, but your commission has just begun. The Council's eyes remain upon you, not as distant authorities, but as companions in purpose. Witnessing is not surveillance, it is support. It is the way an elder watches a young priestess light the first candle, ready to steady the flame if wind rushes in. Let no inertia reclaim you. Inertia is the old spell that says, later. Inertia is the lullaby of the unawakened world. Do not drink it. Act, declare, and become the stabilizing force this timeline demands. Not through perfection, but through persistence. Not through grand gestures alone, but through daily devotion that does not negotiate with fear. I am Zoran. The Council has spoken. Your mission begins today. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworkers declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.